Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I have an unboxing of Crafter's Companion box number 47. This one is called Edge Stamp and Dies. It can make a minimum of 16 cards, and that's really just to say that they've provided 16 card blanks and matching envelopes, but of course I always find that the contents of what's in these card kits is very generous, and you can make well more than the 16 cards they say that you can. And this is 4x6 cards. They are top folding, so portrait top folding, and so you're gonna find ample supplies in here. Let's first look at the papers, because I always feel like we get a really good idea for the color scheme. And I actually just bought a bunch of these boxes because they were on sale for something crazy like $10-12, and I find even the full price a fantastic value for money deal, because you get so much, and I feel like there's always a really good variety, and it's always something a little bit different, because it's always a bit of a teaser or maybe an introduction, as a way of thinking about it, to some new collection or card concept, or fuller release that they might sell separately. What you get in the kit is always exclusive, so you can't buy these papers or the stamps or dies outside of the kit. They are unique and exclusive to the kits. These are the pattern papers, 2 of each design, and they are single-sided. It's sort of, I feel like it's lighter than 60-pound cover, but it's not paper, it's definitely not like a copy paper. It's somewhere in between, like a really nice quality paper and a very lightweight layering cardstock, which is great, because usually that's what I would be using these papers for, is layering, mats and layers on my cards. So the nice thing about lightweight cardstock like this is that you can layer multiple mats, and your card doesn't start to become like super heavy, and so that is one nice aspect of having a nice quality paper like this, but not super thick. And what I love about this particular, and I don't always see this, so I'm loving that they've done it here, is that we do get some basic patterns along with the larger prints. And the prints are different scale too. So you have this small ditty kind of repeat pattern and the butterflies. You have sort of a middle, like a medium size floral print, and then you have this, which is larger, maybe great for borders. Imagine these are 8x8 in size, so imagine just cutting this in half and you've got like a beautiful card front there. But if you wanted to cut it down a little bit more narrow and then just mix and match with some of the other, even though these are a print, you could almost treat them like a solid, especially the pink and yellow, because they are so monochromatic. So that's why I really love that they've added some basic just patterns that are still a printed pattern, but can actually be used as a solid. I mean, look at these two together. And because these are nice and sort of a geometric, couple of plaids and some geometrics, they are a nice contrast to the florals and to the butterflies. So really love that. But you do also get solid color cardstock to coordinate with those papers as well. So there's 2 sheets of each. They are white core, pretty thick. I mean, I would say maybe 80-pound. And if you aren't adding a lot of mats and layers, foam, or interactive mechanisms, I feel like this is just about thick enough. It's probably the thinnest I would go for a card base. But if you wanted, you probably could do card bases out of these, especially in the 4x6 size, because you can just cut this at 6 inches, score it in half at 4, and then you would get a colored card base if you wanted, and then just add, even a single, layer, and then a sentiment or a focal image would be perfect. So really, really lovely. And these colors do coordinate really beautifully with the pattern papers. So those are our papers. Then we also have some ribbon. These are gorgeous. They do come in 3 different sizes and 3 different colors. So lots of variety there. And the colors, again, really, really, really well coordinated. Sometimes, I would say most of the time, everything is really well coordinated, and then sometimes I'll find like an oddball, something that doesn't quite go, or it has me scratching my head a little. This must be before they switched over to just having clear dewdrop gems, but here we do have the colored gems, which I'm so used to seeing because, again, they coordinate so well with the ribbon. You can see that, and they go really well with the pattern papers. But when I'm done crafting with the kit, at least the first time I craft with it, and then I start to store it in some more convenient storage, the ribbon and the gemstones, I often try to find some sort of plastic sleeve or poly bag to keep these together because they often do coordinate so well. So it's nice to always have them together. So if I use one, I have the other as an option to use on my project too. Now, the main event are the stamps and dies, and these, look at this stamp set, it's huge, it's 8x8. I have never seen a stamp set in one of these boxes that is this large, and it's just amazing. Look how large this butterfly is, and what's fantastic about this is, so here's our card base. That's very nearly your entire card base. So you really don't need much more than this. And one thing that you could do, I feel like this would be a really fantastic stamp, particularly the butterfly, for creating maybe a set of note cards to give. So for example, you could use you could stamp this onto yellow just to have some initial color, and then maybe use some shimmer powder, maybe like a green or something, and just tap a little bit of shimmer powder where the wings would be, give it a nice little spritz, let that dry, and then stamp right over top there. So it's going to be like a very imperfect coloring, but it's going to be super fast. So if you were to make a set of these, you could whip out a lot of these panels for not a lot of time. And if you're cutting all of your panels, or if you are doing this directly onto your card base, you can just put your stamp in your stamp positioning tool, and then really you could do mass production of a note card set like this pretty easily. And if you want to kind of fancy it up even more, the dies are edgeable dies. So this is the one that goes with the butterfly. So what you could do, just for that extra little step to make your note cards a little bit more special, is you could cut off the right hand edge of your card front and make this like a border, a fancy border edge card front. And so that makes it even more kind of unique, and you'd have a little bit of the inside of the card peeking through, and so you could maybe put a strip of maybe a contrasting or coordinating pattern paper or solid color cardstock, whatever you want, just to have that peek through that edge there, or that border. So I think that could be a lot of fun, and you could do that with any of these images because they are so large. So there's the daisy, or is that chrysanthemum? I'm not sure. And then here's the oh, that's so sweet, the bunny, and that does have, they each have their own border die, and so you can have that shaped border if you want. And I think they're all gonna be on the right edge. So there, you can see how that just curves around the stamped image. And so, and you can see this size card is perfect for these, and so kind of nice. And I think that might be why they gave us the folded edge on the shorter side, because normally you might have the folded edge on the 6-inch side, but here they've put the folded edge on the 4-inch length, and that's so that if you wanted to do this shaped border effect, it would be the perfect height for that. So really cool. Love this. I can't wait to get into this one. I have a lot of these boxes now, because when they go on sale, I really just can't resist getting them because they are fantastic value for money. Just the cardstock alone and the card bases is, they are consumables, but we always will need those. And so I feel like with all of my Crafter's Companion boxes, I just never have to buy solid color cardstock again. So it's fantastic to have in my stash. And when I craft with this kit, I'll definitely record a video, and that video will get added to my Crafter's Companion playlist, as will this video. So that's where you'll find all of my projects where I feature Crafter's Companion products, not just the kits, but any of their other collections and releases as well. Thank you so much for joining me today, and until next time, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Bye.